Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to FTNS Radio. You're on with The Body Shop. Once again, I am your host, Andre Brick St. Clair, in the studio with Mr. Brian Canone. Mr. Greg Geiger is still here. And on the phone, we have Mr. Jason Ellis, who has shot over 100 magazine covers. Now, we was briefly talking about before the break, Jason was telling us, one is how to get the cover, approximately how much models make, what comes after the cover, okay? We also talked about who is the most popular models and why, and Jason basically gave us some of his best advice that he would give to somebody just starting out. We also discussed how tan you should be, what you should really bring. All right, so now we're back on the phone with Jason. Jason, you still there with us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Jason, I have a question for you. Okay.
Sure.
When somebody is coming to you and they're competing, okay, what I want to know is this right here, is for them to land a cover, all right, is it solely based on their looks, or does their personality can like actually play a part in it? Like, for instance, you shot Greg Polates, okay? Great guy. Obviously not the biggest guy out there, but there's got to be something about him that, you know, makes you want to keep working with him. And as many covers as he's landed, all right, what we want to know is that is it more so about the looks, or is there, you know, a little personality trait?
Well, interestingly enough, it's the work ethic that really helps, you know, Greg in particular. You know, obviously the looks, he's got a great face and great body, but, you know, knowing Greg for a number of years now, it's his work ethic beyond just, you know, I guess that could be encapsulated within his personality, but that's really something that Greg shines in. Is, you know, he was a former Army Ranger and commander, so he's got a work ethic that's second to none, and a drive and an ambition. And I think that when you look at, you know, success in any endeavor, those are really some key aspects. So personality is important, and he's definitely a pleasure to work with. He's always professional, always on time, and really delivers. You know, he gives me 100%, and so I give him 100% on the photo shoots, and, you know, that's definitely resulted. Like, we had 20 covers just last year.
Wow.
And so, you know, it's definitely, you know, he and I really work well together.
Okay. Now, have you ever come across, like, you've met somebody, right? Great personality, great physique, but they don't want to be in a magazine. They don't really care so much about the exposure, but they want, you know, somebody of your caliber to shoot them. So, because they just love, you know, just being on stage, and they love the fitness competitions of it. What would happen, okay, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate, you meet somebody like that, great physique, great personality, you really want them to be, you know, or you think they have the potential to land a cover, but that's really not where their goal is?
Well, you know, I'd still shoot pictures of them, but, you know, if they're really interested in doing that, and, you know, I'd probably still submit them to the magazines. But, you know, I mean, sometimes people that don't have a lot of interest in it, they can still be successful, you know. And in fact, the interesting thing about modeling is a lot of times the modeling industry finds you. So if you got what it takes, you'll usually be scouted out by a photographer or somebody in the industry. So it's kind of an interesting aspect to it.
Okay. Now, Jason, like, where exactly are you based out of?
I'm based out of Los Angeles, California.
All right. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what would be the best way to go about doing so?
Well, I think the easiest is just to email me. And my email is jasonellisphoto, and that's Jason, E-L-L-I-S, photo, P-H-O-T-O, @yahoo.com. And I also have an 800 number. That's 881-0609, and that's 800-881-0609. And those would be the two best ways to get a hold of me.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. You've heard it from the man that shot over 100 magazine covers. And no, I'm not ending the segment. I just want to make sure that people got the information. So you're based out of Los Angeles, California. Okay. And if they want to contact you, they can call 1-800-881-0609. 0609. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, Brian Canone is actually signaling me. I guess he has a couple of questions for you. So let me toss it over to Brian.
All right, Jason.
Hey,
Okay. So a lot of the stuff, that kind of gets me going in this industry is that I see a lot of these people that want to be models, and they compete in the fitness shows. They want some exposure. They always talk about exposure, and some people talk about opportunity, but I hear the word exposure over and over again. And you said,
Right.
when I was listening to you, you said a few guys that take the exposure and then go out and either find a supplement endorsement deal or they work for a
Yes.
supplement company. And
Yes.
that seems to be the way. Like bodybuilding.com with Jamie Easton's probably, one of the best deals you can land.
Right.
Because of the amount of exposure it's going to bring you. Also, plus they're at the show, so they probably pay you to go and do a booth at the shows.
Right.
What do you think, like, the best opportunities really are for people like that? So, you land 1-2 covers. Now, what do? Do you make, like, a press release package and send it out to these supplement companies, or do you just go to a show like the Arnold and walk around? I've been to the Arnold. I don't think the right people are at the booths to talk to. I kind of think for myself, just trying to find a sponsor for the show, the best way for me has been to, like, mail something and fax something and call the companies. So, but if somebody wants to be endorsed, I talked to one supplement company, a guy here, and he has a company in Connecticut, and I tried to get him involved in the show, and I said, listen, why don't you do something, like, if you don't want to put up all this money for, like, a sponsorship package, why don't you just offer an endorsement deal to one of the winners of Bikini? I'm sure she's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be a lot of exposure at the show. It's going to be a great time. Give the person, like, some supplements, maybe some money, some clothing, bring them to a trade show like the Arnold or Olympia, and make that package worth something. So now with my prize, it really helps me out too. I know Paul does this a lot too with the WBFF, which is like he tries to tie these sponsors into the prize packages. And this guy came to me and said, fitness models are a dime a dozen. And, it just kind of like, I thought it was stupid that he would say that. But, it's, they don't even want to give anything back because a lot of these people they know will work for free. And I think that's a lot of these people devalue themselves, and they don't really take it as a business side. And a lot of them say, well, it's I just want the exposure. I just want the exposure. I'll just be on the cover. But when it comes down to it, they do cover after cover, and they never make any money. And what would you say to somebody like that? What should they do?
Well, you said a lot there. So, I mean, to back up a little bit, it doesn't just take, 2 covers to really build up a brand name. I would say, 10 covers, you're starting to get somewhere. 20 covers, even better. Once you hit like the 30 cover mark, now you've probably got a really recognizable brand name within the industry that's worth something. So that's the first thing is that, it's just like the NBA. If you take Kobe Bryant, the reason why they make so much money is the amount of exposure, the amount of people that will buy his products just because of his name recognition. So, that's the key thing is to build up a huge name in the industry, and so that everybody recognizes you, and also that the public that sees you in the magazines asks, okay, what supplement is this person taking? What is Monica Brandt taking? What is Jay Cutler taking? If you look at all the Muscle Tech endorsed athletes, most of them are seen over and over and over again in this industry. So that's the thing is you build up that brand name, you get a lot of value associated with your name because people are asking what supplements you take, and that leads to a lot of sales for the company. So, I guess a good thing for a model to do is ask themselves, if I was the owner of a supplement company, why would I want to endorse me as the model? And people like Monica Brandt, they always get contracts because they always have a huge following of people that want to purchase their products, purchase whatever, products they're endorsing, they'll purchase it. So, that's really a key thing to look at.
What do you think about people that take pictures and you think exposure on social media and stuff like that is good for people? Like you think there's anything bad that can hurt someone's career, like as far as like some type of overexposure, like in a way, or is it always better? Like the more exposure seems to be better?
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, I think the right type of exposure for the right goal is good. I think you do hear the word overexposure sometimes, but then I look in the past and I look at all the top models, and they're all overexposed.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's the most overexposed person in the world, if you think about it, and he's probably the most successful person in the world. So I think that as much as overexposure is a bad thing, I think ultimately it's a good thing when you look at it. You know, so, and Arnold being the best example, I mean, he's constantly on a cover,
Right.
even these days.
Right, exactly.
So,
they keep using his pictures over and over. And he's probably one of the most marketed persons, you know, of the whole physique type of stuff, you know, is Arnold.
Yeah.
You know, especially when it comes to these brands. Now, do you think that some of these people can break away from just the supplement industry and just these bodybuilding muscle mags? Have you seen anybody really break into like mainstream media?
Well, you do see a lot of people go into their own like reality shows, which is a good thing.
Right.
So that's one way. Also, creating your own product. I've seen a few people do that, and also their own supplements, which is a really good, you know, the big examples would be like Labrada and Gaspari.
Yeah.
Creating your own supplement brand can be a really great thing, but it's more of a rarity, you know.
I think that's some great stuff. I mean, even like, well, like you said, I'm just thinking, you say those two names, and I'm really not thinking about the people behind them anymore. You know, like you say, Gaspari and Labrada, I don't think about the just two guys that used to compete. Now I'm just thinking brands, and I'm thinking names. So, you know, I that's absolutely huge. I mean, Jennifer Nicole Lee does it too. I mean, marketing different things that she has, you know, books that she comes out with, and other things that go along with it, where you're just not dependent upon the supplement endorsement contract and staying current. I remember when Paul, a lot of the old stuff he used to say was always about when he was competing, he always worried, like, if I don't place top 5, I might lose an endorsement contract. You know, so, you know, I remember there's an old video where he opened up a personal training studio, and that was called Fit and Firm, and that's now his magazine cover, you know, is the name of that. But it was something I look at, like the track record, like you said, success leaves clues. You want to look at what these people have done,
right,
and try to, like, see the most successful people and follow along with them.
Exactly. And if you do it right, you'll end up governor of California.
Hey, Jason. Let our listeners know a little bit more about yourself. So what I want to know is this right here. Like, what are some of your favorite photos to shoot, and why?
Well, I definitely like shooting professional athletes because it's a lot of fun, just the whole spectacle of it all. You know, several years ago I got the privilege to shoot Karl Malone, and I'll just tell you a quick story. I was down in the locker room shooting pictures, and it was just Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal when he was on the team, and I down in the locker room, and we were all shooting pictures, and it was just a real fun time, just, you know, experiencing athletes at that level, and just also getting to know them as people. You know, Shaq's just the biggest, you know, kid really when it comes down to it, and he's really into photography too. Right. So, you know, those types of shoots are a lot of fun. And I also shot Jose Canseco, who also is very interesting. You know, these athletes, they're just like big kids once you get to know them. That's been my typical experience. So, you know, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Now, as a photographer, do you prefer the black and white shots versus the color shots?
Whew, that's a tough one. You know, I love black and white from an artistic perspective, but, you know, color is amazing too, equally, and you know, from the artistic perspective. So my black and white shots have definitely got a lot of attention over the years, but you know, from a commercial perspective too, for covers, I've done tons of color pictures. So, you know, that's a tough one. I like both of them equally, I think.
All right, and how prone are you to use props in some of your photos?
Well, for most covers, they do like some type of props, you know, fitness oriented, whether it be dumbbells or, you know, weights or a weightlifting belt. You know, there's always some type of prop usually for cover shots. So, about 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite photos that you've actually taken is where you have, it's a guy and a female. They're on the beach, and you have the guy doing the back bend over, and the model, she's actually laying across his stomach. I mean,
Yes.
that's an amazing shot. You know,
Thank you.
what I want to know is do you see the shot before it happens, or is it something that you actually just stage and was like, okay, this is what I want?
Yeah, I just visualize. I take time before the shoot, and I just visualize different ideas. And sometimes when I'm out on the shoot, they just spontaneously kind of come to me. But many times before my shoots, I do kind of meditate, just kind of give myself some time to contemplate different photo shoot ideas and visualize the picture before I actually do it. And that's when a lot of those ideas come to me. So, that's kind of the creative process, I guess.
All right. Now, you mentioned that you are going to be in Connecticut in April, and you're going to be at the Fitness Atlantic at April 16th at the Oakdale Theater.
Yes.
And just tell our listeners what it is that you're going to be giving them.
Well, at the Fitness Atlantic, I'm going to be giving models an opportunity to do some shoots with me, which is good if they're looking to get more exposure, get on a potential cover. I think I'm one of the photographers out there that will definitely give you your best images and the most likelihood of getting some exposure, whether it's on the cover of the magazine or getting, published inside the magazines. That's what I'm really looking to do while I'm out there. So if you're a model out there looking to shoot, you can give me a call.
And once again, let them have that phone number.
It's 800-881-0609.
And the website
is jasonellisphotography.com.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Ellis. Jason, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jason. See you soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we here at FTNS Radio at the Body Shop, thank you very much for your time. We thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the Body Shop.